Hello traders, let us start taking a look at what we are expecting tomorrow. What are the possibilities of tomorrow? Let us again start from the monthly chart. So the monthly chart has gone very bearish at this point of time. So here we will remember that this is the midpoint of this month, 5418. That may be an area that the bears may be targeting on the monthly chart at this given point of time. But there will be multiple other support areas down here. We will take a look at them as we go to the lower time frames. But on the monthly chart right now, that looks like a possibility if the bears can keep on moving the market down, right? Otherwise, on the upside, we will keep an eye on the midpoint of the current monthly candle as well, which is again at 5592. We are far away from it at this point of time. So we will have to see if there is any kind of bounce and we can get over this 5520 areas, and then we will see if we can get back up. At this point of time, the monthly chart is looking really bearish, but then the month is not yet over and a lot can happen. Let us now take a look at the weekly chart. If the weekly chart keeps on coming down, it may come and hit this trend line here. But before that, we may have this as a support area between 3, 6 and 5, 5, which is the wick area of this last weekly bar before we had this gap up, right? So now we are inside this gap and we may actually try to come down to 5456, 5436, and then maybe ultimately to 5425. We will have to see if we keep bouncing from here, or if we are coming down, then we may actually come and hit this 5386 area as well if we get an equivalent drop at this point. And then finally we need to remember that 5344 is the weekly EMA, but that still is around 100 points away, more than 100 points away. So we will look at it when that time comes. But it is prudent at this point of time to keep a line here so that we know that this is the weekly EMA at this point. If the market wants to move to the upside, I would like to see that these areas 5552, 5509 gets taken out. Then we can get to that 5520 area, and then we may move around to the 5534 area, and then around 5553 or the 5554 area here, right? So these are the different resistances that we'll have on the top as of now on the weekly chart. We will refine it more as we go into the lower time frames, and then we can see what the chart has to offer for us. Now on the daily chart, this is the new channel we added on yesterday, and if we see, we came below the midpoint of that channel, which was around 5499, 5500 area, and we are at the bottom of this. So it will be advisable now that we have another channel added to this here, just in case if the price wants to come down. So if the price wants to come down here, this 5463 area, this will be a very good area of support here for tomorrow. 463 area, this will be a very good area of support here for tomorrow, and this is the low of today as well. So it is possible that price may want to come down here, dip below it a little bit, come back up here again, and then keep going up. We will also mark this line at the 5571, 5572 area, which is the current EMA at this point of time. We have come a lot below the EMA. I am actually thinking that there might be a pullback tomorrow, and it may actually create a trading range day when we are trading in the RTH hours tomorrow. Again, if we are going by the ATR at this point, we will see that the current ATR is around 60 points. So again, if the price wants to come down from here, this is the open of the day. 60 points will be somewhere close to 5420, right? And if the 60 points happen on the upside, then we can actually see price going up to the 5544 area again. So based on this ATR, I think this will be the kind of range that we will be looking at for tomorrow. I do not think after this big dump today from 5584 to 5467, so that is more than 100-point dump, I do not think that there will be a very big movement tomorrow. But now the bears are in control, and we know that in a strong bearish market, most of the resistances do not hold. So it is highly possible that if we keep coming down, we can see some of these areas. We can even come down to the bottom of the gap. We can come down to the 5425 line that we saw on the previous chart, and that will be in agreement with the bottom of this particular gap that we have right now. If we are moving up to the upside, we will have to see that we cross over 5504, 550209, as we saw in the weekly chart, and then we will have to see that major zone of support at 5411, it has turned into resistance right now. So we will have to see if we move over that. If we move over that, there's a big chance that we move above to the 5521 level, 5521 to 25 level, and then again to the 5533 level, and then farther up. One more thing that I wanted to mention about the daily chart is that if this was the whole length of the pullback that we had, then our 1:1 of the pullback happens at 5455.25. What happened today was the 1:1 that I was referring to earlier. I was considering only these two candles, and that is how I came to the 1:1 of this pullback. But the whole pullback will actually start from here, and that may bring us to 5452, the 5450 area, and then we may dump down from there or bounce from there, and then we will see where the market wants to go. If we look at the 4-hour chart right now, let us talk about the resistances that we have at the top. The first one that we have is the 4484 area. We are above it, but this is a very important line which played today as well. And then above that, we have the 95 to the 5500 area. That will be working as a kind of a resistance up here. Above that, we have the 5509, the 08 area. I would actually keep it at 08 instead of 09.25. And this is the most important area on the 4-hour chart, the 5511 to 16. If we can break above from here, again, as I said earlier, we can see this 22 to 28 area. Above that, we may come to this breakout level at 5541. There may be some more resistance areas here on the hourly chart. We will take a look at that. And then we may come to this 5551 to the 5556 area, and then finally we may try to get to the daily EMA level as well. And if you see, this is the 4-hour double top that we have, and if we come back up here, this will be a very good area for the bulls to test. And if they want to go up higher, they can even come to the 5584 line. This is where the actual gap started on the bearish side. On the downside, if we can break down the low of today, we will come to this 57 to the 50 area. This is the last order block that we have, the bearish order block that we have on the 4-hour chart before we started moving up. So this will be a very important area of support, this around this 50 area, breaking of which we can come to this 5444 line, and then we will see the 5438 to the 35 area. If we break that down, we come to the 5427 to the 24 area down here. Below that, again, this will be a very important region once again, because this is another breakout area that we had. And after that, we will come to this 5427 to 25 area, and then subsequently we have 5414, we have 5405 to 5399, and subsequently all these lines here. So we will have to see what happens. This is a very important zone, as I said, and I will change the color of this a little bit so that we know that if we are breaking this down, we will go a lot farther down. One more thing that I want to bring to your notice on the 4-hour chart is that we have this kind of a wedge at this point, right? So we have the first touch, we have the second touch, we have the third touch. Now the third touch broke down. We broke this area down, and we have not got a measured move of this move down at this point of time. So if you want to see what is the measured move of the wedge breakout, this will bring us again at 5454. So we will have to see whether this area holds, or if we want to come down farther from here below the 50 line, we may actually see the price come and hit this trend line somewhere. On the 4-hour chart, I would also keep an eye on this trend line that we have from the top. Along with that, I will also like to keep this trend line here, just to see if there is any reaction to these lines, if the price starts to come up. Let us look at the 1-hour chart now. Now, if you notice from today, my 1-hour chart channels have become bearish from bullish, because we have broken down many major support areas. And now I will be more comfortable in working with the bearish channels than with the bullish channels at this point. So let us look at the support resistance here. Even before we go to the support resistance, we have this hourly wedge completed here. If we break down this wedge and then we can get below the 5450 area, then we may get a measured move of the wedge breakout to the downside. And if I am looking for a possible move, it can come down to the 5415 level very much. Talking about support and resistances, as we saw on the 4-hour chart, we have a 54247 area as our support. So if this breaks down, then coming down to the measured move will become very much possible. Below that, we have the 23 to the 17 area as our next support. This is a hourly balance zone that we have from 92 to 85 area, and finally we have the 5375 area. This is again a double top on the hourly chart. If the price wants to go back higher, it will have to get over the 5509 line. So we were confused about the 5508 and the 5509 line earlier. Looking at this, I would keep the line at 5509. This will be a very important area. Above that, we will see that we will beat the EMA. We do not know whether it will move sideways, create another bear flag overnight and come down further. But if we are trying to move up, we'll have to keep an eye on this hourly EMA. If we can cross above the EMA, we will come to this 5542 to the 5551 line, and then maybe to the 72 area and the 85 to the 98 area, which is the body gap as we have, and then we can move further up. However, we need to keep an eye on the channel lines also. There may be rejections at the midpoints of the channel or the edges of the channel, and it may come down to the next midpoint or the next or the low of the next channel again. So based on the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart, what I see is the 50 to the 4847 level will be very important. Once we break that down, we may actually come down to the 25 level, which we saw in a different time frame as well. And after that, we may come to this balance zone, and then we can see this 5376, but that is still far away. But based on how the market has dropped today, the bears have enough momentum, and if they can bring it below 50, there will be a good possibility that it will keep coming down and give us a measured move of that wedge breakout. On the upside again, this 9 to 11 area will be very important. If we can keep going up, go above the EMA, we can very easily come back to this 5540 area. So looking at the RTH 5-minute chart now, so the low of the day, the 62.5 line will be very important, because right below that at 62, we do have the breakout area which we broke out previously. That was the last high before this breakout happened. And below that, we have this 49.75 or the 50 area, below which we again have the 44.5 area breakout. Below that, we will have the 5436.25, the 5426, the 5415, and then the 5410, and subsequently we go down to these levels. So based on what the chart is presenting to me at this point, I would be interested in shorting below 5450, and I would try to see if we break down 5444, then there is a high probability that we will visit this 542526 area. If we come down there, that will be my first profit target, and below that I will try to take profit again at the 5415 area here. If we are going to the upside, if we can break above this 5500 area, 5511 will be a very good area that the bulls can target. Even before getting here, we will have one more area of resistance right here, which is the 8889 area. So I would like to see price go above 90, take out this micro gap that we have here, and then we can target somewhere between the 9, and then we can target somewhere between 09 and 11. If that gives up, again we come to the 19 to the 20 area. There is the 200 EMA on the RTA chart as well right there. Above that, again we can see the 28 to the 35 area somewhere here, and then we can keep climbing up to the 40s to the 50s and the levels above. So that is all the analysis that I have for now. I will meet you guys again tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST. If you want to join that call, the link to the Google Meet is given in the description below. You will find the links to all these charts also in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server and the Facebook page. You are very welcome to join there. And as always, please like, share and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel and click on the notification icon. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.